Hello everyone, and welcome to my first success story with none other than Jake Watts. Jake's been a close friend of mine for years, as many of you will know, and he's also been one of the most miserable bastards I've been surrounded by. A life event with Jake sort of, I guess, wanted him to learn a different perspective and a different way of looking at life, and a positive outlook. So, okay, before I started MELIOR, I always had a passion for helping people and changing their mindset with what I learned. So we started off just having a chat. He asked me to sit down and we set off a morning routine and just a different perspective into a way of life, and definitely is a bit more happier now. Definitely more happier now. So Jake's a business analyst at Lloyd's, which he's been doing for how long?
I've been at Lloyd's now for like 10 years, 11 years, which
10
makes
years.
me sound fucking old. I started when I was like 19, and I've been there for like 12 years now, I think.
Perfect. And then Jake has always had, as you can see, I'm wearing trackies because of the size of this fucker. Has had a passion for bodybuilding and fitness. He got me ready for many of my summers away where I went and lost the plot. And now within 3 years, he's got 150 clients on board. He's got 35 out of 38 top placings at bodybuilding show. He's got 1 pro card with big man Nick. And he's also got his dream car of a McLaren and is looking to get his second property now. So within 3 years, he has achieved undescribable. I think when we would have sat down and had that conversation in Nando's.
Yeah, I think that was, when was that, like 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
So, well, I think that at the time I literally had started AMP for about a month, I think, which I think I started on. I had about 20 clients when I first started, which was okay, but nothing really. I had a different job at Lloyd's at the time, which was again different to what I'm doing now. And yeah, it's just a bit of a. I'd recently gone through a breakup. It's just a bit of a car crash, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind. Jake was, when I say Jake was down, it was like, I won't say it on here, but it was a comment I said to him about why is he so down, and it was heartbreaking to listen to. And so just what I guess for people watching this, what made you want to get guidance and changing your way of thinking?
I think, so obviously the comment that we made, which I won't bring up on here, but yeah, I guess I kind of had been kind of so set in my ways in that I probably expected to feel like that.
Yeah.
I guess I was very miserable. I kind of woke up every day and was like, every day is the same. This is just my life. This is shit, and I've just got to be accepting of this. And I guess probably what was a big thing that I had to probably remember as well is that I'd obviously seen you go through it.
Yeah.
So I'd been, and I know you've spoken about it on camera before, so I know you're going to talk about it, but. I remember when there was days when you would come around, you'd literally sit on that sofa there, and you'd be fucking just crying miserable, upset. And, it probably didn't help that I wasn't upset, but I was miserable at the time as well. So we was both a couple of fucking miserable bastards. But we was.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And I'd gone from seeing you at your very lowest to obviously then I wouldn't say you hit your peak, because I think your peak is probably now. But you'd kind of switched yourself around, and I know that we had had endless amounts of conversations where you'd said, I can help you, and whatever, bad, like, of course you can, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and write in a book and it's going to make me feel better, I was kind of, I was probably very reluctant and not very open to kind of wanting to change. I was kind of, as I said earlier, so set in my ways in that this is just me, this can't change, and I guess I kind of got to that point where everything, don't get me wrong, I had a house at that point, but like, work wasn't going particularly great, as I said, I'd just broken up with a relationship, like, it was kind of a bit like, well, what have I got to lose now? Like, 100%. I remember you saying, like, let's just have a chat, and let's just see.
I tried a few times to get you to sit down.
And I just wouldn't do it, because, that's kind of what my personality used to be like. It's kind of like, I'll do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I guess I probably at that point was like, what have I got to lose? Why not try this? Why not try? Why not be a bit more open to kind of changing something?
Definitely. And just you did change that in a very, very, very quick quick manner. I remember we had the conversation, and then we set you a few tasks, and then another life event happened, and I was thinking, oh God, he's going to crash, he's going to crash, he's going to crash, he's going to go on the hill. He's like, nah, the universe is doing this for the right reason. Yeah. Stay positive, different perspective, and yeah, mate, I remember that moment. I was proud of you. Yeah. So, what would you say? How much of a benefit? Like, I set your morning routine. How much of a benefit did that have to you and the start of it?
I think that was the main. The routine was kind of the main part of it. So I think the big aspects that I kind of taken, and you know, you obviously back it up in a lot of the stuff that you talk about anyway. But yeah. Definitely, kind of waking up in the morning and filling your brain with the right stuff is massively key. You know, I remember sitting down, writing down my gratitudes every day, and I remember kind of as the days and days went on, I was putting more passion into them thoughts. So it wasn't like I'm just going to write down I'm grateful for Brad and that's great, or I'm going to write down I'm grateful for my mum. It was like, okay, why am I grateful for Brad? What does Brad do for me that makes me grateful? Why am I grateful for mum? Like, why am I grateful for all these things? And I was thinking of specific occasions to which I was grateful. And, you know,
almost bring a tear to your eyes.
Yeah, there was times and stuff when I was like that, and I was like, you know, it was a happy tear. Do you know what I mean? So good. You know, it was kind of waking up in the morning and just filling my brain with stuff that makes me happy. You know, that was one point to take away from it. I think when I think about one of the big things for me actually, which I still kind of have a task list of now, but achievements was a big thing for me as well, because I'm definitely somebody as a person who, I wouldn't say necessarily that I'm competitive, but I love to win. So I love to win, and that's not necessarily winning against each other. That's winning for myself. And a lot of the successes for me since then will have shown that. But writing down things that I wanted to achieve for the day, there was no way any day that I was going to bed and not achieving what I set out. Because as far as I was concerned, if I wasn't achieving what I'd set out, that was failing. And I didn't want failure. No. Like, I was kind of like, I've made a decision now that I don't want to be miserable, I don't want to be upset, I don't want to fail, I only want to achieve. So it's building
that momentum, isn't it?
Absolutely. So me recording what I wanted to achieve for the day and then going to bed and going tick 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 tick, I was like, fucking fantastic, this is great. So I'm waking up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put myself in a positive state, a state of gratitude, which is impossible to be in a state of gratitude when I'm happy. And then I'm going to bed also in a happy state. And I guess one of the other things as well to add to that is, as you said with the routine, is always, like, for the first 30 minutes of the day, watch or read something that's going to kind of fill your brain and stuff. And I remember on my way to London every day, I was watching something on the train for an hour.
I remember you text me saying I'm watching this.
And I'll text you and I'll be like, mate, I've just watched this is fucking epic. And you'll be like, yeah, I've seen this one. And you're like, yeah, this is
and then the energy just bounce off the energy, don't you? Like, it's so powerful. I remember, my best mate is finally on the same wavelength. I was like, yes!
Like, we used to come home, we used to watch some Impact Theories, and we'd come home, and I'd come home and we'd be talking about it. And, you know, and again, watching them things is like, they were all kind of success stories where people had been in a shit place. And, you know, now they're some of the biggest entrepreneurs in the world.
Massively.
So again, and I know you talk about it a lot, it was about always trying to fill my brain with stuff that was positive or make me happy.
From the first second you wake up, you're getting told you're going to achieve anything you set your mind to.
Absolutely, you know, and I remember even there was the odd times when I would post like a quote on my story and people would message me like, I love this, and it's like, I fucking love this too.
That energy.
Like, I fucking love this too. And you know, again, I used to remember as well, and again you've spoken about in your post, in that I'd always, when I parked my car at the station, I'd always put one song on, and it was always the same song every day that I used to listen to, and it always just made me happy, regardless. So every day I was just constantly filling my headspace in the mornings, especially with everything that was kind of positive.
So it's just starting your days right, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Definitely,
absolutely.
Rather than just that small up, just waking up, you're on your phone or fucking texting something straight away, you're just filling your brain with the right thing.
Absolutely.
So you've gone from being living from sort of, I remember you never saved money, really. You'd put a little bit away, or you'd go, I'm getting this at the end of the month with Lloyd's, to now you're going to be getting your dream home, I'm moving into as well. And currently driving a McLaren, which is your favourite supercar. And you are currently probably, I would say personally, not biased, but one of the most up and coming UK coaches in 3 years with your record and that. What advice would you give to someone that's, you know, apart from obviously coming to find me to help you, that's sort of stuck in a rut, living the same sort of robot life, and just they think that success is so far away, but as we discussed here, within 3 years, it literally can be there.
Yeah, it is, and you know, certainly from a few years back, and even now, one big piece of advice that I would always give to somebody, whether they are starting out a business or doing something, in my opinion, you have to have passion.
Yeah. And
I see far too many people starting to do things because the reason they're doing it or the reason they're chasing it is because they know somebody else that's doing it and earns a good sum of money for it. And I find too many people are so focused on the money driver of something that actually it's just going to be a failure. Like, in my opinion, you have to have a passion for what you're doing.
Fulfillment.
You have to, because and you've got to do something day in day out that's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Don't go and choose the business because you think it can make you a millionaire.
Yeah.
Go and choose the business because you love it, you've got a passion for it. And one thing that I've found, especially because I have a passion, just like you do, just in a different aspect of being able to help people and see people progress in life, that's massive satisfaction. And what will actually start to come with that is when people start to realise that you have that passion, the financial aspect of that
just comes.
It will just attract it. You know, there's times, you know, there's a lot of times when, you know, don't get me wrong, sometimes I'm like, I wonder how much I'm earning now, but a lot of the time it's not about, oh, okay, so I've got X amount of clients, which means I'm earning X amount a month. It's like, I've got fucking 100 people that I'm now helping.
Doing well.
Change their life. The amount of messages that you get, I get saying how much you've changed your life, and that's the success driver. The success driver is not, I'm earning 10k a month or I'm earning 5k a month. The success driver is how many people you're helping and what you're doing, and also making sure that what you are doing day in, day out makes you happy. Because I was in a position like you was where I was unhappy every day. And you know, I'm now in a different job at Lloyd's and I do enjoy my job, but I'm also doing something along the side of that which I love and I could do all day. You know, and it doesn't.
You do all day.
I do all day. Yeah, I do all day. But imagine how shit that would be if I hated that and I'm doing it all day. I'd be miserable. And you know, you hear about these like millionaires and stuff that are miserable and unhappy because the money doesn't buy that happiness, because they're not doing something that makes them happy every day. Like, you look at someone like, I don't know, like Elon Musk or something, that he will probably, his passion isn't, I want to be a billionaire. His passion is probably, I want to change the world. So how can I change the world?
Good or bad, he's doing that.
That's it. And that's probably my biggest takeaway, I think.
Yeah, massively. So how much would you say sort of that guidance and that push in the right direction is important? Because obviously if you're not surrounded by that energy, then you might not just slip into the... Yeah,
massively. And you know, I'm not going to give you all the credit because you have to have the drive and stuff yourself.
Of course,
certainly I don't think I would be where I am without having that guidance. It's just changing your perspective. Like, at the end of the day, everyone is in control over what they do day in, day out. So if you want to be miserable and you choose to be miserable, then more fool you. Because you don't need to be miserable.
So much more to life.
There's so much more to life. There's so much content, there's so much of everything out there that can help you change that mindset.
Massively. Do you still have down days, and if so, sort of how do you deal with them?
I wouldn't say I necessarily have down days. I think, don't get me wrong, there's some things, say for example, that can happen that I'm like, fucking hell. But I'm very quick to get out of that headspace. Whereas in the past, I could probably sit and grind there for 2 days.
I remember it would fully take a day away from you, 2 days.
Like, the tiniest little thing, but I'm like, actually, you know, whatever's happened, do I have any control over it? If I've got no control over it, who gives a fuck? It's happened, it's done.
Control the controllables.
Like, I remember when somebody smashed the window on the car the other day, I literally replied to Tom, who had the cars, did they clean it up? They could have cleaned it up. Like,
we thought it'd be the end of the world.
It's the end of the world, oh my god, it's going to cost me this. It's done.
Doesn't matter.
I can't control it. So why let something bother you that is completely out of your control? So yeah, that's probably...
So obviously spoken about, you've got a full-time job at Lloyd's. You've got over 100 clients with AMP. How on earth, because I see you, laptop, 2 phones, how on earth do you keep on top of the massive workload? And I know it comes down to like your passion for the AMP stuff, but there has to be something more behind it.
Do you know what? It's a question that I always get asked quite a lot. And I know you just said not necessarily a passion, but I love doing it. So if I didn't love doing it, I wouldn't like being busy. I like being busy because I like helping.
But do you get fulfillment in the success and the fulfillment in
absolutely
helping other people?
Yeah, of course. Like, you know, when I get to my check-in days, if I've got 15 people checking in, and all 15 of them have a great check-in. I'm like fucking buzzing. I'm buzzing because one, it means I haven't got to do any work off the back of it. But also, I'm like, these people are moving towards
they're doing what they're told.
So you know, that's that. Yeah, absolutely. I get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
But also, like, I definitely would say, like, I'm quite organised and like I have a structure of kind of how I do things. Which and routine, I guess, is probably key. So there's definitely, I would definitely say to people that if they have a busy lifestyle, they have to kind of make sure they've got some routine and structure they can keep consistent. You know, I know between the hours of 8 and 10 I'm going to have check-ins solidly every day. Solidly between those hours. So them hours are kind of the time when I know I'm going to be on my phone. I'm also kind of very structured now in that pretty much from like 9 o'clock in the evening my phone goes down. That's my time. So it's just for me about having a structure and being very organised about what I'm doing. I always, as you know, I have Sundays off, which is my time to kind of recuperate and go again. So it's just about being structured and organised. But the thing is, like I say, I do genuinely believe that because I have that passion, it makes me want to do it. So I'm like, it's not like I'm like, oh my god, I've got 20 check-ins there. I'm like, right, who's gonna have smashed it today?
It's effortless.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are definitely some key points, I think.
So your last one. So your success is already so high. Obviously, MELIOR is going to help you make it happen. Always. MELIOR movement, baby. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, this is a tough one. Because if I'm honest, 3 years ago I never saw myself here. So, you know, definitely the view is to continue to pursue AMP and keep growing. We've got some big news coming in the next couple of weeks about a new coach coming on board. And it is also our 3-year anniversary, so we're going to do some good giveaways and stuff. But so where do I see myself in 5 years? I think, like I say, continuing to grow AMP is definitely going to be my passion, as I've talked about, and just continuing to just keep evolving that, keep helping people. You know, as you've just said as well, I'm looking to buy my next property, so I'm kind of continuing to evolve in that space. But I think I'm kind of one of these people that I kind of take things as I come. I have my mini goals myself. You know, like I've mentioned with the car and stuff.
The vision board. Yeah,
absolutely. So I think for me, it's just about continuing to progress where I'm at, continuing to help people. And you know, eventually, probably at some point, I might get married. And, well, that seems like a long way off at the moment. But yeah, and just continuing to help people. You know, continuing to, I guess, increase what I have now. You know, I don't have any real ambitions to kind of go and live somewhere else in the world right now. I know we've talked about maybe moving to Dubai at some point, but just really continuing to kind of pursue bodybuilding and where I'm at that stage, continuing to grow AMP and just continuing to help as many people as I can. I kind of, like you said, I definitely want to become one of the biggest kind of coaches in the UK.
Definitely.
Is the plan. And just continue to kind of work on my current goals and ambitions, I guess.
Perfect. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch you over
It feels weird me being here. Last time it was you.
It's been a pleasure to watch you over the last 3 years, you know. Mainly listening to me and obviously my experience in helping you out. And yeah, thank you for watching. That's my first success story of Jake Watts. If you are looking to get in shape, is Amplified. I hear he's the one. Amplified will be tagged in this.
If you want any life coaching,
exactly. So yeah, get in touch, drop me a DM, and big love.
And just remember,
MELIOR movement, baby.